Hello, everyone. Casper Stockham here with another BLN interview. And today we have an interview with Rahul. He is a mindset coach and inspirational speaker. And you can find his website at mindtalksmatters.com. And Rahul, it's good to meet you, sir. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Casper, for having me on this show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, it's good to talk to you because a lot of mindset to me is well over half the battle. It's probably 80% of the battle, right? Is the battle that goes on in our mind, right?
Absolutely.
When it comes to achieving whatever it is that we want to try to achieve. So before we get into that, though, so we have 15 minutes to unpack this. So before we get into that, uh, please introduce yourself to the audience and kind of tell us how you got started with this. With this.
Sure. As Casper mentioned, my name is Rahul. I help aspiring managers become empowered leaders
Mhm.
and also coach students, graduate students, to design their life their way.
Hmm.
And my intention or the way I got into this is I would give credit to my father.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in my preteens, that's when I had one interaction with him,
Hmm.
and he mentioned to me one quotation, which is, "Where there is a will, there is a way."
Right.
Now, I didn't know what it means, but looking at his work style, learning from him, he was very committed and very determined to make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And in early on in my childhood, I realized that everything is possible.
Yeah.
If you want to make it happen, it is you that needs to make it happen.
Right. Right.
So that's where I started my journey. I grew up in a town called Jan and did my master's there. Came here to US to did my double masters.
Mm-hmm.
And every time when I look at things, I see it as a possibility. Many a times we do think that things will not happen,
Right.
and as a human being, we get into that negative thought process.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we need to train our mind to think positive. I'm a firm believer that if we think positive, the positive action will come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think a lot of times we kind of default almost to the negative thought on things, but to your point, we have the choice to either think positively or negatively about all kinds of things, right? And especially in today's society with all the craziness going on around the world, the wars and everything else, it's easy to get into the trap of thinking negatively about tomorrow. Right.
Absolutely.
So you work with a lot of folks and you have some strategies that we were talking about before. What are some of those techniques or strategies that we use to help us get in the right mindset?
Sure. The first thing first, many times when we think about negativity, we try to go into that self pity mode
Hmm.
and think that everything is happening to me
Yeah.
versus happening for me.
Right.
The first thing I would encourage all our listeners to have gratitude for, show gratitude for what we have,
Mm-hmm.
rather than going for things that we do not have.
Right.
That is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I would say, is be kind and humble to yourself as well as to others. And number three, I would say, is the environment that you live in, the inner circle of people that you have. In my opinion, that really is a key. We need to have people around us who are giving us positivity rather than taking away the positivity from us. So someone who has full trust in us, someone who is believing in our own self.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to look into those people with whom we interact on a regular basis. And if we circle with those people who are giving us positivity,
Mm-hmm.
we will be able to think on a positive way.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, as you mentioned, that in around us there is a lot of negativity, so we need to
Yeah.
train our mind. It will not happen overnight, but it is possible if we put our mind to it, if we think
Mm-hmm.
more about things that are happening to us.
Hmm.
and have a sign of gratitude, be thankful, be humble, and talk to people who are giving you positivity.
Yeah, yeah. I know when I was growing up, the thing with our parents are always worried about who we're hanging around, the kids that we were hanging around, and they knew that if we were hanging around this particular kid or that particular kid, they said, "Oh, he or she's nothing but trouble," right? So stay away
Mhm.
from those kind of folks, right? Um,
Absolutely.
so so you go around and do you travel around and give talks and stuff about this and but you also work with clients as well, or
Yes, I
one-on-one with clients.
Yes, I do work on a one-on-one to help them be better leaders. And currently, I have 4 clients that I'm working with, 2 leaders and 2 individual contributors
Hmm.
who are in their midlife crisis, I would say.
Yeah.
They are not sure what they want to do, so I'm helping them in designing their life their way.
Okay. So now, do you also work with corporate types? In other words, like a CEO of a company that's maybe trying to take the company to the next level, kind of thing, or is that because because at the end of the day, it's really the I used to say the speed of the leader is the speed of the group. So if the CEO or the founder of the company is not in the right mindset, it's hard for anybody else in that company to be in the right mindset as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for the C-level folks, what I have is most of the C-level people, most of the entrepreneurs rather,
Hmm.
they become leaders not by choice but by accident.
Yeah.
So sometimes they are not fully aware of the nuances of being a leader, how to engage with team, how to
Hmm.
lead people. And I believe that in any leadership job, it is all about people.
Yeah.
So I do have a program for entrepreneurs on how they can sharpen their leadership skills, as well as how they can create an environment of positivity, of inclusivity, as well as innovation within their organization, so that they can get hyper growth.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when it comes to leadership, there's a couple schools of thought on leadership. I lean toward the servant leader model, if you will. Lead by serving, right? That's
Mhm.
also the Christ leadership style. Um, is that the leadership style that you teach, or is there some other leadership styles that you talk about?
So I myself believe that I am a servant leader. I get positivity by helping people, by
Mhm.
making sure that they get what they are looking for.
Yeah.
My intention is to get results for them. So definitely that is very, very important to me.
Hmm.
The other aspect I would say, many a times when we work as a leader, we want to get things done as of yesterday,
Yeah.
and that's where the challenge happens. I believe in less is more. So we
Hmm.
need to take a very realistic step for doing things. I also believe the key thing for being a leader is around consistent in communication. Many
Mm.
times communication becomes a problem in
Yes.
communication.
Yeah.
When we are talking about change management, 90% of corporate America change management initiatives fail because lack of communication.
Yep.
And last but not the least, I would say is about the speed of execution.
Mm.
It's just not about executing things; it's the speed of execution that will make a difference for any entrepreneur.
So unpack that for us a little bit when you talk about the speed of execution. What are some, like, I guess would be some stumbling blocks to that actually being the proper speed, or I'm not unpack that for us a little bit.
Sure. So what I mean by speed of execution is many a times we procrastinate, that we will do it things tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
we will do things next week. We get a lot of ideas, but we think we are not ready.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we don't have funds, maybe we don't have right people. But I believe that your wealth is love speed,
Mm.
and when we are doing things in a speedy manner, we are able to get great results. As a leader, I do believe at times we also get into that perfectionist mode,
Mm.
till we get the right person on the job, we do not make it happen.
They don't
And
move
in my
forward.
career, I have seen many times that there are hiring managers who wait to get the right people, that purple squirrel or the unicorn, for 3 months, 6 months.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, they do not exist. So I believe that we need to work with the resources that we have,
Yeah.
and anything that can be done. So from the speed of execution, anything I believe that can be done within less than 3 minutes, you need to take action right now. Don't procrastinate yourself.
Yeah.
And the other thing, for leaders, most of the team members, they rely on you to give them the green signal. And
Mm.
if you keep things under your kitty, you are basically becoming a stumbling block for your team members.
In other
So
words, you're not empowering them to become leaders themselves or managers or whatever. You're not giving them the opportunity to rise to the next level.
absolutely, absolutely. And then you bringing a very good word, empowerment. I
Yeah.
think as leaders, we need to empower our people. We need to give them the stage. We need to give them that platform so that they can do wonders. And
Hmm.
and at times things will not go your way. Things
Right.
will happen. We will make mistakes. People will make mistakes. But that is where the learning comes in. And I believe there is a very big, story about an IBM, when a leader did a blunder and lost a $10 million account,
Mm.
and he thought that now he will be fired, and he
Mhm.
went to his C-level person to give his resignation, and the C-level person said, "Hey, are you joking? I just spent $10 million in training you.
Right.
Now
Right.
you want to quit?" so, so at times we
Yeah.
need to have a different perspective, and then take all those failures as a learning. First fail, I believe, is the first attempt in learning.
Hmm.
FAIL, first attempt in learning. So
Hmm.
always we need to look at that as a learning step.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of times people see others who are successful. And I heard John Maxwell, of all people, talk about this just a few weeks ago. He was doing an interview, and the interviewee asked him, "Is there one is there one thing you'd like to change, or I can't remember the exact question she asked, but basically it was saying, he said, look, people see me now with the success that I have now. He said, I wish they could roll back the time and see me when I first started. He said,
Mhm.
I was horrible at speaking. My first book flopped. And I mean, and now he's written like 90 something books or something.
Mhm.
But in the beginning, he was rough. And people see the polished John Maxwell and they think, man, if I could only be like him. Well, what you need to do is get started and don't quit, and you will be like him.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think what you're bringing is, we get in love with the success of people. We very rarely want to go and do a deeper dive that what brought them to the level where they are
How
today.
did they get to? Yeah.
Right. The Bucks. My son is a big fan of NBA team Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Antetokounmpo has been the MVP for multiple years.
Yeah.
How he became MVP. I mean, in fact, we actually watched his biography, the movie, The Rise.
Yeah.
What was he, was growing up, and what kind of challenges he has gone through. So I
Right.
believe we should also look into that, rather than just looking at the success, because that's where we are looking at the greener part. We don't understand the grind that goes behind to that success that people are having today.
100%. 100%. People don't realize what it takes to become whatever, and they just kind of quit too soon, or they never get started because they just assume they can't get there. I think you mentioned about this earlier. They don't even believe that they can be at that level.
Hmm.
But you just have to get started and don't quit. So we have
Absolutely.
just like maybe like a minute left. Is there anything you want to leave our audience with as we just close out the interview?
Sure. I would want our listeners and audience to be bold. Bold is an acronym that I've created. B stands for believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
O is optimistic. L, love yourself. And D is dream.
Mm.
Unless you dream, you will not be chasing that dream. So the
Yes.
dreams will give you a purpose, and the purpose will help you driving your life the way you want it. So be
Yeah.
bold, be humble, and stay kind.
Very good. Very good. And before we leave, though, tell us what is the best what is a good client for you? In other words, what does a good client look like for you?
A good client, if you are in corporate and if you are wanting to become a manager, don't know how to do it, don't have means to do it, I can help you, I can guide you, I can coach you, and go through that journey of being an empowered leaders. If you're a student struggling to get together their academics and finding a dream job, maybe we can work together and create those healthy habits that will help you design your life your way. So those will be the two primary clients.
Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you're doing. I think we all need a coach or somebody to come alongside of us and help us in these situations. So I really appreciate you. Hey,
Awesome.
folks, you've been listening to a 15-minute BLN interview. If you don't know about BLN, please go to the website and check us out. And when you go over there and check us out, tell them that Casper sent you. And we will see you guys on the next interview. Bye-bye for now.